Welcome to this explainer. If you're stepping into the incredibly exciting, fast-paced world of artificial intelligence management, well, you're in exactly the right place. Consider this day one of your orientation on managing multi-agent development. We're going to completely strip away the confusing jargon today and focus purely on the core structural foundations you actually need to succeed. So let's dive right in, shall we? Here's a quick look at what we're covering today. A welcome to day one, the multi-agent lifecycle, structuring the AI team, moving from requirements to an AI solution, the development pipeline steps, and we'll wrap up with your first client task. Section 1. Welcome to Day 1, Phase 1 Foundations. Moving right along to Section 2, the multi-agent lifecycle, the big picture. Okay, so the multi-agent development lifecycle is basically your master blueprint. It's what's going to guide your projects from the very start right to the finish line. In traditional software, a lifecycle usually guides a pretty static program. But here, your blueprint has to account for highly dynamic, completely autonomous AI agents that are actually interacting with one another in real time. It's like a living ecosystem. And honestly, truly understanding this living framework is absolutely what separates successful deployments from utter, absolute chaos. Section 3. Structuring the AI team, human roles. Now, before you can manage artificial agents, you have to flawlessly structure the human talent behind them. We break this down into 3 distinct pillars. First up, the developer. They are your builder, deep in the code, constructing the actual nuts and bolts mechanics of the agents. Then you have the AI architect. Think of them as your city planner. They're designing the overarching system, figuring out exactly how these agents are going to communicate and function together as one cohesive unit. And finally, the AI project manager. Their job is to ensure the whole shebang actually aligns with real business goals, managing timelines, and clearing out any roadblocks. Listen, these aren't just fancy, interchangeable titles. They represent absolutely crucial boundaries. And I really can't stress this enough. Mastering the boundaries between these specific roles is the absolute key to success here. If your developer tries to play architect, or your architect gets bogged down in daily project management, well, your entire system is going to suffer. Without really clear separation, you don't have a team. You just have a group of very smart people working in totally chaotic silos. Up next is Section 4, Requirements to AI Solution, the macro view. At a high level, it all really comes down to a fundamental 2-step translation process. Step 1, identifying those abstract business requirements. We're talking things like needing much faster data analysis or maybe better customer service routing. And Step 2, actually delivering a concrete functioning AI solution. As a manager, you are literally the bridge here. Your job is translating a messy, complicated business problem into a beautifully functioning multi-agent reality. Section 5. The development pipeline steps, the micro view. Let's zoom in a bit. These are the steps you have to rigorously oversee strictly in chronological order. First, we have development. This is where your team is in the trenches actually building the agents and the architecture. Second is testing. Now, this is incredibly complex because you're testing how completely independent agents interact with wildly unpredictable inputs. Third is deployment, pushing it out into the real world. And fourth is active monitoring. Let me be clear, you absolutely cannot skip steps here. No way. So we split these 4 steps into 2 very distinct phases, pre-launch and post-launch. This really illustrates that strict linear flow I was just talking about. Basically, testing has to successfully and entirely conclude before deployment and monitoring can ever even begin. I mean, if you try to deploy a multi-agent system while you're still fundamentally testing how it interacts, the cascading failures won't just be bad, they will be catastrophic. Section 6, your first client task, putting it into practice. All right, so I'm going to leave you with a bit of a challenge today. How exactly will you design the management lifecycle for a hypothetical client project? Think about it. If a client came to you today needing a complex multi-agent system, how would you define the human roles of your team? How would you rigidly enforce that pipeline from development all the way to monitoring? The foundational groundwork is officially laid, and the architecture is entirely in your hands. So what does this all mean for you? It means it's your turn to start building. Are you ready?